My manager just gave me 48 hours to make a YouTube video. And I don't know if you know anything about my channel, but I don't post videos for months at a time. If I don't have a video out within the next 48 hours, I'm going to have to give my manager $20,000. Okay, I moved the decimal point a few things over, but like, you know, 20. The videos I make on Gamingsbrink are video essay videos that have a lot of research, writing, and editing that go into them. The first thing I was gonna have to do was map out the 48 hours so I could keep myself on track.
That's pretty much it. That's the whole thing.
My game plan took into account outlining a script, writing a script, gathering footage, voicing the video, and editing the video. I got to work immediately. I've had an idea for a video that I've been wanting to make for a while now, and I'm taking this as an opportunity to make it. I'm going to be remaking the first video I ever made on Gamingsbrink because oh my god is it bad. And it got a lot of views. This video really makes you think, wow, the sound quality sucks. That's true. Wow, he did no research. That's true. And wow, he probably has no friends. But I do have this penguin. I was thinking about how I want to structure this video for a while. Because I've already done the research and know how I want to structure it, I've probably saved myself at least 10 hours, and that's the biggest reason I decided to make this video. So, we're gonna start making elements of a good platformer. But like a lot better this time. Looking at the game plan I had for the 48 hours, I immediately realized a problem that I was going to have. My friend Grace started live streaming, and she was borrowing my capture card, which means I'd have to find a way to get the footage. Grace has my capture card. I don't want to steal it from her, but she's not going to need it in the middle of the night. So I'm thinking when she's not using it, I'm going to take it. I'm going to try to record a bunch of footage today after I finish writing the script, and then tomorrow I can voice act and start editing. Okay, so you guys might be wondering what I'm going to get if I complete this video on time. I'm going to be getting what I think is one of the most valuable things in the entire world. A composition notebook. And you guys might be thinking, isn't that only worth $4.30? And you'd be correct. But if you move the decimal point. Anyways, I started writing down my main points and outlining the script in my notebook. This didn't take too long because I'd already done most of the work months before this challenge began. In case anyone was curious about how I organize my notes, I actually write them like physically in a notebook. The video I'm currently working on, this is the elements of a good platformer. It was only about 3 pages. I really like this notebook. Anyways, I started writing down notes and outlining my main points in my notebook. It didn't take too long considering I've done most of the work months before the challenge even began. After I finished outlining my script, I started writing the script.
Well, Flaffy, don't you have any good tips for writing a great script?
Grow fingers. Okay, so 7 hours might be a long time to write a script, but that's how long it took me. This is actually probably the quickest I ever wrote one. Next on the list was to be collecting all the game footage, and if it was as easy as just sitting down, recording it, and getting it done, I wouldn't be making a video right now. My friend Roman and I have this rule when making videos that we will not download another person's footage of a game while making videos, which means I am legitimately going to have to sit down and play every video game I wrote in the script. And since this video is about the platformer genre, I'm going to have to play a lot of different games. To put it simply, the first decision I made while doing this challenge was probably the worst decision because I'm going to have to collect a whole bunch of footage from a bunch of different games. And oh boy, did this take a lot of time. So first of all, I looked through the script and made a list of every single video game I'd need footage for. And then I panicked. Roman, help! Do you have footage from any of these games? Do you have Sonic footage? You have the Sonic footage, right? I need that Sonic footage. Roman agreed to help me get footage of a bunch of games I didn't have access to. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, he is awesome. If you like this video, you probably like his videos. He's way more funny than me. He makes amazing videos. His content is crazy. He uploads more than me. He's a better person than me. He's a better YouTuber than me. He's a better... I still need to get footage for Celeste, Crash Bandicoot, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros. DS, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, and Mario Maker 2. I'm only going to talk about Mario for like 2 minutes. There were a couple of games I forgot to write down on the list. I think one of the biggest ones was... I only know a very, very, very little bit about this game. How do you do this? How do you get... How? Come on, no!
It's grapefruit. It's licorice. This thing that we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down.
If you want to continue watching me play this game, subscribe and I will do it live on stream. Now here's a fun little story. I had to get footage of a bunch of different games, which meant I had to pull out a bunch of different consoles. I keep switching between consoles to get footage for this video I need, so I've been putting them on my desk. It was okay for the Wii U, it was okay for the Switch, but my fucking god, the entire PS5 takes up like half my desk. One of the games I needed to get footage for was New Super Mario Bros. U for the Wii U, or Nintendo Switch. It came out on both. The problem is, I don't own that game anymore. When I moved out of my parents' house, I let my sisters keep the game because I let them keep the Wii U. I bought my own Wii U after moving out, but I never rebought New Super Mario Bros. U. And since I live over here, and they live over there, I won't be able to get my copy of the game from them. The game only costs $6 because, you know, the zero holds no value, which is a reasonable price for a game that came out in 2012. But I'm at the point where it's between buying that game and eating this week. I put out a story on Snapchat and Instagram to ask people if they had a copy of the game that I could borrow within the next 48 hours. At this point, it's 5 in the morning. I started my 48 hours after getting off an 8-hour shift at work, so I was already really tired at the beginning of this challenge, and with every hour, I wanted to go to sleep more and more. Since it was the middle of the night, it was really hard to find alternative ways to find the game. Everybody was asleep, all the stores were closed, and I wouldn't be able to call anybody for help. So I ended up just going to bed for the night. I started the second day by getting all of the game footage I needed. Since I planned out what I needed from all the other games, it didn't take me very long to get it all. I'm not going to talk in detail about every game, but here are some of the highlights. In Super Mario Maker 2, I needed to create a custom level that was just completely flat and then play through it. I forgot my way around the building UI, so this took a little longer than I'd like to admit. I needed to do a couple speedrunning tactics in Super Mario Odyssey, so I actually just did the any % speedrun up through Lake Kingdom. In Celeste, I needed to get B-side footage and a clip of me collecting one of the B-side tapes. And it had been a while since I played, so it took me a long time to find one of the tapes. My manager literally made me replay Super Meat Boy when he heard what this video was about. He said that this video would have no reputable value if I didn't include it. I was also constantly checking my Snapchat to see if anybody responded to my call for help. What I didn't consider is that there are like 6 new Super Mario Bros. Games, and since most of my friends aren't gamers, they looked at any of them and thought, hey, is this the one you want? Is this the one you want? Is this the one you... And so basically I I had to explain to about 20 different people that none of them had the game I was looking for. So Snapchat was a bust. Thank you for all of my friends who reached out and tried to help me. I know I didn't get what I needed, but yeah, you guys are awesome. All of the collection of gameplay footage was going phenomenal. I had no hiccups. So the very last game I needed footage for was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I put the disc in for New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I don't think you guys understand the level of devastation I was feeling when I saw this. Not only was I approaching the 24-hour mark, but I was really sad to see that my game wasn't working. This was a copy of the game that I bought when the game came out. I've had it for years and years and years, since I was a kid. When did this game come out? This game came out in 2009, and the disc wasn't working. The Wii is old enough now that I genuinely have to worry about finding games for it if they break again. Not only was I worried about finding the game in general, but I needed to find it within the next 48 hours so I can make this video. On top of not having New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, I was really starting to worry about the New Super Mario games footage. I immediately started looking for somebody that had a disc cleaner. I ended up calling a few different places, but I didn't want to go into retro game stores. I specifically wanted to avoid retro game stores because, once again, I was broke, and I knew that I would end up buying something if I went into them, so I started with GameStop. When I called, their manager Noel picked up and they told me they didn't have a disc cleaner. And on top of that, the only place they knew that had one went out of business a few years ago. So the only place I knew to go to was a retro game store after that. First place I wanted to check was Double Jump Video Games. They're one of the biggest retro video game stores in the Pacific Northwest, but they were closed that day. There was literally only one other place that I could think of to call. If they didn't have it, I actually wouldn't know where to go or what to do. Whether or not I was going to complete this challenge completely relied on whether or not this place had a disc cleaner, and this store was called Legendary Games. Now this is actually the first retro game store in America that I've ever been to. They've pulled through for me over and over again. Definitely an awesome store, but did they have what I need to fix my game? When I called, a lady picked up. I asked if they had a disc cleaner, and they said yes. But she started listing consoles that she wouldn't be able to clean discs for. She wouldn't be able to clean any discs if they were for the Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS3, PS4, PS5, or Wii U. I was out the door instantly.
Do not have time to be messing around, so I got the Sonic socks on and we're gonna be zooming.
I had no idea if the disc cleaner would actually fix the game still. It was the closest, fastest, and cheapest option I could find. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I'm broke. I got there, gave them my disc, and they cleaned it for $2. And then when I was waiting for my disc, they ended up getting me to buy a copy of Ratchet Deadlocked. I'm gonna go through the rest of this challenge hungry. Alright, moment of truth. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to find another copy of the game, which is impossible in the time limit I currently have. Thank God. Now for this game, I wanted to get footage of the helicopter helmet and the penguin suit. It's not what you think, I swear! So the helicopter suit is in the first level of the game, but the penguin suit is in World 3. So it took me a couple hours, but I got the footage. And after all that trouble, we finally had the clips that we needed from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The helicopter mushroom lets you reach new heights, and the penguin costume allows you to slide fast in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. 6 whole seconds. Please like and subscribe. So I officially had less than 24 hours to make this YouTube video, and I had not finished voice acting or editing yet. To put this into perspective, I've never spent less than 12 hours editing one of my videos. And 12 hours is really generous if I'm being honest. I still don't have footage of New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, and I definitely planned on sleeping at some point, so I had to find a way to streamline this process. I record my voiceovers in a free software called Audacity. It has a lot of tools for audio editing that you can do before moving it over to your editing program. Unless you're constantly recording with your voice, you might have a little bit of trouble with audio editing, or you know, finding your voice in your recordings, how you want to speak and say things. Sometimes you want a more energetic tone, and then other times you might want to go deeper and take it slow. Because of stuff like this, I actually end up recording multiple times. It's hard to stay consistent at the beginning of the video all the way through to the end if you haven't warmed up and you don't know what you want to do yet. I recorded 3 times, took the best parts of every 3 recordings, and created one master clip. Since I was running short on time, I should have recorded a few lines a couple more times, but I didn't end up doing it. So when you watch the full video, there's some awkward editing and cuts that I normally would not keep in one of my videos. But for this one, we did! If you want to make a platformer that competes with what's established in the world today, now I'm not going to give an in-depth tutorial on how to use Audacity. There is a ton of them out there. What I normally do is noise removal, normalize, and equalize. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys. If there's anything you shouldn't be taking advice from me from, it's probably audio editing. It's probably my weakest. Yeah. I did all the audio editing, and then I put it in Adobe Premiere Pro. So I made the mistake of leaving my front door unlocked, and all my friends came in and kidnapped me at gunpoint and said if I don't leave the house and go get chips with them that they're going to kill me. Obviously I wouldn't voluntarily waste 2 hours when we're this close to the deadline. Okay, so I know this timer says 19 hours, but I still plan on sleeping again within those 19 hours, and I still haven't found a way to record New Super Mario Bros. U. I have one thing I plan to do before I fall asleep, and that's create a skeleton for my editing. Basically, what that means was taking all the audio I just recorded and putting gameplay that coordinates with that audio on the timeline and align it with where it needs to go. This means I wouldn't be doing things like small tweaking edits just yet. I would just create an outline, basically. And creating a skeleton sounds really simple on paper, but my ADHD brain makes this take way longer than it needs to. There are a lot of gameplay points I'm making in the script that needs very specific game footage. So most of the work being done here is sifting through the gameplay footage to find exactly what I need. I try really hard not to repeat clips or use clips from the same level, and use multiple different examples from what I'm talking about for the most contextual visual experience. When I'm creating a skeleton, I usually pull out all devices again to get footage of stuff I didn't properly get, but since I was so limited on time and planned out footage collection pretty well beforehand, I didn't have to end up going back to get any footage. I said I wanted to get like the base skeleton of this video done today. The problem is I'm really tired. I really want to go to sleep. I could just sleep and do the rest of it tomorrow, and I have full faith that I could get it done tomorrow, but I feel like it's just kind of a crunch. I want to get the skeleton done tonight, and then I can wake up tomorrow and all I have to worry about is refinements and making small tweaks. I have an entire day of just making small tweaks, and I think that's the way to go. I ended up going to sleep before the skeleton was done. Oh boy, things are getting scary. I had a third of the skeleton I hadn't finished, missing footage of New Super Mario Bros. U, and all of the actual editing of the video I still needed to do. I know I've said this a few times now, but I've never edited something in less than 12 hours. When I made the first Elements of a Good Platformer video, I showed the elements on the screen by just writing them out. I really want to avoid words when I can, because this is a video and not a PowerPoint, so I wanted to create a new graphic to represent the 3 elements I was going to be talking about in this video. I ended up going into Photoshop and creating a few different assets I could use in the video. I started by creating a background and settled on a pixel art theme. Then I created the pillars. Then I created 3 logos that represent the elements to go onto those pillars. And the end result looked like this. Biggest problem I have now is filling this gap where New Super Mario Bros. U footage is supposed to go. It's right about here that my dad called me. He heard that I was doing this challenge for my sister because she saw it on my Snapchat story, and he was asking if I got the footage for the game I was looking for. He then told me that he owns the game digitally, so he gave me his Nintendo login so I could log into his account, download it on my Switch, and play it so I could get the footage. And this was it. I mean, that was like the only thing stopping me from completing this challenge. I started downloading the game while finishing up some of the critical edits in the video, and when it finished downloading, I got the footage, and the video was done. So my dad really came in clutch for that one. So I completed the challenge. I walked outside one morning and found a composition notebook on my porch. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I think notebooks are one of the most valuable— Wait, does that say wide rule? Igor, what the